How's it going, everybody? So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about CS2 post-plant Molotovs on Mirage. So this map has a ton of awesome situations to throw these in. I would say the best plant spot on A for this is if you plant right here on the left side of triple, because you're pretty much planning for every single position except for CT. So like if you're ever in connector or in A main or in palace, there's a ton of different ways to play this out in a clutch situation. So starting off with the most obvious position, if you planted here, there's almost always going to be someone playing late round in A main. So if you ever find yourself in a 1v1, 1v2 from this position, it's super easy to actually molly off this plant spot by just looking here. It took me a long time to realize this, but this is actually an angled portion here on stairs. I didn't know that until way later than I should have. It's super easy to just aim high and just do a run through with a molly off of this corner to where it's going to get this position. It'll even molly off the front of default here to where if they're standing here, they'll also get mollied while diffusing. And it just covers a huge area here. To where, yeah, if you're planting right here, it's going to absolutely destroy this guy. And it's super safe. Like if you're in a 1v1 especially and you hear, if you hear the diffuse, it's super easy just, throw that molly without overexposing, right? To where if if he fakes, you're dead if you peek this. But you can just, not peek it, throw it like this, and boom, that guy looks like a fool. So if you ever find yourself in a similar situation from Catwalk, you can jump up here onto the railing and go all the way to the end right here. Just right on the very, very end here, and just do a simple jump throw at the bottom of this little vertical part on the shadow, and that's going to do pretty much the exact same thing. It's going to go right here and molly off this position, and it'll even spread around and catch this spot right here that people like to plant in. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh my gosh, this is such an exposed position to throw this from. But the thing is, you're not really going to be here until super late into the round, and the only way that they can see you while you're up here is if they run all the way down here towards the staircase to where they'll be able to see your legs. As you can see, that's actually a super tall position here, so you're actually very safe up there. And if it's late enough into the round to where you're going to be throwing a post-plant molly, if they come all the way down here to try to kill you, they're probably not going to have enough time to run back and defuse. So again, this is something you're only going to want to throw in more of a 1v1 to 1v2 situation, and especially if you have a teammate alive to help. Simple actually threw this in a major. I think it was PGL Antwerp, like 2022, but he also had Bit alive down here to make sure he wasn't getting peeked from like window or any of those other situations. And I've shown this Molotov almost every single Mirage video I've made on this channel, but if you're ever stuck behind this smoke, especially in a post-plant situation, there's a lot of times where the CTs will smoke this off if they know your CT, you can just go right back here into this corner and just do a simple left-click throw at the left-hand side of this hay, and that's going to go all the way up here. It's going to land right here, and it's going to molly off almost every single common plant position on site. It's going to get here, 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 and it'll even expand around sometimes if you throw it exactly right. In this situation, it didn't do perfect, but if it's planted right in the front here, if they're on this side, it's actually going to spread around and start hitting them and, get them off the plant at the very least. So it's a great Molotov to throw. It covers a ton of different positions, but yeah, if you're in CT, definitely throw that if you get smoked off. And finally, moving on to the B site, it's super self-explanatory, but hey, if you're ever in a post plant and you hear them diffuse in a 1v1, you can just left click them all and just bank it off of this to get all of default here. The one thing you have to keep in mind, if you don't know that he's about to tap bomb and you're wanting to be ready for that, if you're just standing out here like this, he could always peek up on top of Van and absolutely destroy you if you're not prepared for that. So what I recommend doing is going all the way up into this corner right here, because it's actually super deep, and you can just be ready to just left click at the very top of this green tarp along where this kind of bar meets the top of it. That's going to go pretty deep into sight, and it's going to catch pretty much every position right here on default, and you're completely tucked. As you can see, I've just placed a bot right here into that position, and believe it or not, if you're up here, you can't see a thing. You have no idea he's there until you walk all the way up and clear it out like this. So you can just sit here with your gun out, ready for someone to peek you, and if you hear them tap the bomb, you just left-click through the molly and completely obliterate them off that plant position. So yeah, I hope all of this helps you out in your post-plant situations on CS2 Mirage. If you enjoy this type of video, I wouldn't mind, making this a series and kind of expanding out into other maps. Let me know down in the comments below if you want to see more.